All right, let's dive right in. Today, we are cracking the code on the GATE Aerospace exam. If you're studying on your own, maybe feeling a little lost, and you just need a clear step-by-step plan to follow, you are in the right place. We're about to map out your entire path to success. Have you had that moment, you pull up the GATE Aerospace syllabus, and your heart just sinks a little? It's huge, right? It's complex, and trying to figure out where you should even start can feel, well, completely paralyzing. If that feeling sounds familiar, I want you to know something. You are absolutely not alone. You're actually in very good company. Just about every aspiring aerospace engineer has felt that exact same weight. It's a totally normal part of the process. But what if you had a guide, someone who's already walked the path, who's hit the walls and figured out the way through? Well, that's what we've got today. This entire game plan is built on the real-world experience of Vishal Sethi, who basically forged this step-by-step guide for beginners out of his own trials and ultimately his successes. So the first step is just to look at the challenge head-on. Let's call it the GATE Aerospace Mountain. The real test isn't just about learning tough material, it's about doing it all by yourself, without the hand-holding of some expensive coaching center. But here's the great news. You don't have to wander around in the dark trying to figure it all out from scratch. A proven, methodical roadmap already exists, and it's designed to take you from base camp all the way to the summit. So, here it is, the core strategy. It all comes down to these 4 incredibly powerful principles. Start smart, use super focused resources, practice like your life depends on it, and be absolutely ruthless about cutting out anything that's not on the exam. Okay, so why do we start with aerodynamics? Why not structures or propulsion? Because aerodynamics is the foundational pillar. The concepts you learn here don't just stay in one neat little box. They ripple out across the entire syllabus. And this is the key insight, right, from Sethi's strategy. When you master aerodynamics first, you're essentially preloading your brain with knowledge for other really tough subjects. It's like giving yourself a massive head start. The resource strategy here is just brilliantly simple. Instead of drowning in a dozen different books, the whole idea is to focus on one single authoritative text. J.D. Anderson Jr.'s books are legendary in the aerospace world for a reason. They're incredibly clear, and this one book covers about 95% of what you'll ever need for this section. Now, this is where the roadmap gets really, really powerful. It's not just about what to study, it's about what not to study. Knowing with absolute certainty which chapters to master and which ones you can completely ignore. That can literally save you hundreds of hours of wasted effort. And this one-stop solution approach, it's not just for aerodynamics. We're going to take this same focus strategy and use it to build out a complete toolkit for all the other core subjects. You take a topic like engineering mathematics, which can feel like this endless ocean, right? Sethi's advice is crystal clear. Stick to a resource like the Made Easy textbook. Why? Because it's built specifically for the GATE syllabus. That means you cover 100% of what's required without getting lost on some useless rabbit hole. And we see the exact same pattern for aircraft structures. The recommendation is to focus your energy on Megson's book. It's another one of those highly regarded, single resources that gives you a rock-solid foundation. It's known for making a notoriously complex subject way more approachable, especially when you're studying on your own. Now, within structures, you have to be strategic. There's one topic that's an absolute heavyweight. I'm talking about strength of materials, or SOM. This isn't just another chapter. We're talking about a massive 40% of the marks for this entire section. This is where you double down on your focus. And for flight mechanics, we come full circle, right back to another masterpiece by J.D. Anderson. This reliance on specific, high-quality authors is a huge part of the strategy. It ensures you're getting a consistent and really deep understanding across these different but connected subjects. So let's just summarize your core toolkit. It's actually beautifully simple. First, one main textbook for each subject to build your foundation. Second, use the free NPTL video lectures whenever you need to see a concept explained in a different way. And third, practice with previous year question banks, the PYQs, to master how the questions are actually asked on the exam. And finally, the golden rule. The one thing that ties this entire strategy together that you have to remind yourself of every single day is this: stick to the syllabus. Every single hour you waste on a topic that isn't on the exam is an hour you could have spent mastering something that truly matters. So there it is. We've laid out the strategy, we've identified the resources, and we've talked about the mindset. That unclimbable mountain we started with, well, it now has a clear path marked all the way to the top.
The roadmap is complete.
And that really is the ultimate takeaway here. Self-studying for GATE Aerospace doesn't have to be this confusing, isolating journey. When you have a structured plan and the right tools, that feeling of being overwhelmed, it starts to transform into real, earned confidence. The roadmap is in your hands. The tools are all laid out, so the only question left really is, are you ready to pick a subject, open that first book, and take the first step on your journey? Okay, let's be real. Cracking the GATE Aerospace exam, it feels like a massive, massive task, right? But what if you had a super clear, strategic roadmap to guide you? Well, that's exactly what we're going to build together right now. We're going to take that daunting challenge and turn it into a goal you can actually achieve step by step. So if you're just starting out, I'm guessing you're staring at a huge pile of books, a bottomless pit of online videos, and just a crazy long list of resources. Feeling a little lost? Yeah, that's totally normal. And trust me, it's the very first hurdle we're going to clear together. Okay, don't worry. That's exactly why I'm here. We're going to cut through all that noise and give you a simple step-by-step action plan. Seriously, by the time we're done, you are going to feel ready to tackle this thing head on. All right, let's dive in. Stage 1, building foundations. This is where your journey really begins. Think about it. Every tall building needs a rock-solid base, right? Well, your GATE prep is no different. This first stage is all about building those absolutely unshakable foundations. Okay, so where do you start? Your very first stop, no exceptions, should be the NPTL GATE portal. This is your foundation. I'm talking free, top-notch lectures straight from IIT professors who cover the entire syllabus. I mean, think about it. These are the experts whose teaching literally shapes the questions you're going to be answering. You can't get any closer to the source than this. Now listen up, because this is important. This stage is a marathon, not a sprint. Your goal here is to master the fundamentals. Don't just passively watch the videos. You've got to absorb them. You need deep conceptual clarity. I want you to understand the why behind every single formula. Because trust me, that deep understanding, that's what's going to pay off big time down the road. Okay, so you've built that solid conceptual base. Awesome. Now it's time to actually put that knowledge to the test. Let's move on to stage 2, active practice. This is where we start turning all that knowledge into real problem-solving skills. So, with that strong foundation, it's time to start solving previous year questions. We'll call them PYQs. And let me be clear, this part is absolutely non-negotiable. Seriously, solving PYQs is the single best way to apply what you've learned. It literally trains your brain to think like the people who set the exam and shows you exactly what kind of problems are coming your way. So, what's in your toolkit for this stage? Well, here are the key players, and they work together perfectly. You're going to start with AeroAtta for your daily dose of PYQs. Now, let's say you get stuck on a specific topic. You hit a wall. That's your signal to jump over to One Stop Gate or Age of Aerospace. They've got targeted notes that are perfect for filling in those specific gaps. And just to put that into perspective for you, 15. AeroAtta gives you the last 15 years of GATE Aerospace papers. That is a massive treasure trove of high-quality practice material. Honestly, mastering just this one resource could be a total game changer for your entire preparation. I love this quote. Practice isn't what you do once you're good, it's what you do to get good. It's so simple, but it's so true. Think of it this way. Every single PYQ you solve, and maybe even more importantly, every mistake you analyze, is like making a direct deposit into your exam readiness bank account. This is how you build that speed and accuracy that really separates the people who just pass from the top rankers. All right, you've built your foundation, you've practiced like crazy, now it's time for the final piece of the puzzle. Let's talk about stage 3, simulating success. This is all about mastering the actual exam environment. Because look, the real exam isn't just a test of what you know. It's a test of how you perform under pressure, with that clock ticking down. So the goal in this stage is simple. We're going to replicate exam-like conditions over and over until it feels like second nature. And for that, mock tests are about to become your absolute best friend. So what does this support system look like? Well, for this final push, you've got a whole ecosystem out there. You have online coaching platforms like IGC and Goodwill Gate to IIT, and then dedicated test prep resources like GateFlix. All of them offer the structured test series you're going to need. Oh, and for those super stubborn problems that you just can't seem to crack, the doubt clearing sessions from these guys and also from platforms like Unacademy are, well, they're absolute lifesavers. So, let's break it down. What are the key things you need to be doing in this stage? Number one, take mock tests religiously. You've got to build that mental stamina. Number two, use revision and formula sheets. The ones from IGC are great for this, to keep all those key concepts fresh in your mind. Three, actively participate in doubt-clearing sessions. Don't let any confusion linger. And finally, number four, use any supplementary lectures you can find to patch up those last few gaps in your knowledge. Okay, deep breath. We've covered the what and the where. Now for the most important part of all, the how. Let's move to our final section, the unified strategy, and put all of these pieces together into one single, powerful plan for your success. This is it. The whole thing boiled down to a simple 5-step action plan. You ready? Step 1, start with NPTL to build that rock-solid fundamental base. Step 2, immediately, and I mean immediately, start applying what you learn with daily PYQs from Aerowata and the others. Step 3, once you've got some momentum going, start taking mock tests with IGC or Gateflex to really simulate exam day. Step 4, use those revision sheets and jump into doubt-clearing sessions to sharpen your skills. And finally, Step 5, tie it all together with a structured plan. A good target to aim for is covering about 2 subjects per week. That's a really solid pace. So, there you have it. That's the roadmap. A clear path that takes you from that feeling of being totally overwhelmed to having real confidence. You've got the resources, you've got the strategy. Now look, is the journey ahead going to be challenging? Yeah, for sure. But it's also an incredible opportunity. The only real question left is, are you ready to take that first step? So let's talk about preparing for the GATE Aerospace exam. I mean, the syllabus is a beast, there are a million different resources, and it's super easy to feel like you're just spinning your wheels. But what if there was a clear step-by-step roadmap to get you where you need to go? Well, that's exactly what we're going to lay out today. Okay, so let's get right into it. What's the real secret to crushing the GATE exam? It's not about pulling endless all-nighters or trying to memorize every single formula in the book. Nope, it's about studying smart, having a solid strategy, and using the right tools. Without a plan, you're pretty much just shooting in the dark. But with one, you're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Think about it like this. If you were going to build a rocket, you wouldn't just start welding parts together, right? Of course not. You'd need a super detailed blueprint and a full toolkit. We're going to approach your GATE prep the exact same way. And first things first, we need to assemble that digital toolkit. We live in a digital age, which means there's a whole universe of resources right at your fingertips. But let's be real, which ones are actually worth your time? We've sorted through it all for you and put together a list of the absolute best online resources for your GATE Aerospace prep. And we'll start with the free stuff, because who doesn't love free stuff? All right, first up, the NPTEL portal. Seriously, think of this as your own personal library of lectures from some of the smartest people in the country. We're talking actual IIT professors. And it's all completely free. Next, you've got Aerowata, which is an absolute goldmine of past GATE questions. Then there's One Stop Gate and Age of Aerospace, which are fantastic for specific notes. Just with these 4, you can build a seriously rock-solid foundation. Now, maybe you're someone who works better with a more structured approach. If that's you, there are some amazing paid resources out there. Platforms like IGC, Gateflex, and Goodwill are all laser-focused on aerospace and offer live classes, mock tests, the whole shebang. And hey, if you're on a tighter budget, Unacademy has a great mix of both free and paid classes. The key is just finding what clicks with your learning style. Okay, so your toolkit is packed. Now it's time to create the blueprint. Because honestly, even the best tools in the world are kind of useless if you don't have a plan for how to use them, right? So let's map out a step-by-step strategy that's going to help you get the absolute most out of these resources. And here it is, your 6-step strategy to success. It's a cycle. First, you build that strong foundation with the NPTEL lectures. Then you immediately apply that knowledge by practicing questions from Aerowata. After that, it's time to simulate the real deal with mock tests. Then you analyze how you did, revise your weak spots, and clear up any doubts. This isn't a one-and-done thing. It's a loop of learning, practicing, and getting better each time. Now, this right here, this is the secret sauce. It's the engine that drives the whole plan. Having a structured, repeatable schedule. Your goal should be something like tackling 2 subjects a week and making sure you solve problems every single day. It's not about cramming last minute. It's all about consistency. And trust me, that consistency is what's gonna set you apart. And hey, remember, you don't have to do this all on your own. There's a whole support system out there for you. Make sure you jump into those doubt-clearing sessions. Check out YouTube playlists to get a different take on a tough topic. And definitely use things like formula sheets to make your revision sessions way more effective. These little things, they make a huge difference. You know, at the end of the day, it really all boils down to one word: consistency. You can have the best resources, the most brilliant plan, but if you don't show up and put in the work day in and day out, it just won't happen. So show up for yourself, do the work, and I promise you the results will follow. So there you have it. We've taken that chaotic mess of information and turned it into a clear, focused plan of attack. The maze is gone. The path forward is crystal clear. Now all that's left to do is walk it. And this is the real transformation we're talking about. It's the difference between just studying and strategic preparation. You go from feeling overwhelmed to feeling focused, from random and chaotic to structured and in control, from inefficient and unsure to totally confident. So, what's next? You have the tools, you have the blueprint. The only thing missing now is you putting it all into action. So go out there, start building your future, and show everyone what you're capable of. We're all rooting for you.